All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but I'm pre recording it. So, this is the second part of the video that was too long to put on Facebook. So, I put it on YouTube. I'm going to start putting all of my videos on YouTube because this is a combination of a book. You like that? A book. So, let me begin so that way I can post this on Facebook so that way you all can get, I guess, a little piece of what I'm talking about. And I want you all to separate the messenger from the message, which is me. So, oh, my neck. Sorry about that. It's kind of late, so I figured I'd do this right now. Separate the messenger from the message. Because I believe, since I'm speaking on it, that this message is pretty important. So let me begin. This is the book. This is the book that I'm going to start with, and then I'm going to evolve. And after this book, I'm going to get to another book, and then another book. And then eventually, we're going to get to the era of books in which we should be familiarized with. I can give a list of the books that I'm going to go over, but it's neither here nor there because who knows, I might change my mind. But this is a book that I'm working on and I'm using other references to build upon it. So, this is what Frederick Douglass said. And this book is about 175 years old. Actually, May 1st made it 175 years ago. This book. It says, "A nigger should know nothing but to obey his master, to do as he is told to do. Learning would spoil the best nigger in the world. Now," said he, "if you teach that nigger, speaking of myself, how to read, there would be no keeping him." Let me repeat that again. "Now," said he, "if you teach that nigger, speaking of myself, how to read, there would be no keeping him. It would forever unfit him to be a slave. He would at once become unmanageable and of no value to his master. As to himself, it could do him no good, but a great deal of harm. It would make him discontented and unhappy." That's deep. That's really deep. That's how the oppressors think. And when I say oppressors, I'm not just talking about black people here. Although we are the number one target, along with Mexicans, along with Asians, along with Latinos, along with even white women. So, that's how they think. Now, there's no disrespect to any of the older generations when I speak of this, because I love them. They lived, they died, they shared their wisdom with the next generation, and that next generation is supposed to share their knowledge with us. Now, it's difficult to say that they were wrong in their assumptions of how they taught us. However, we've got to remember that they were scared. And then came along the revolution with the Black Panthers, with the NAACP, with Ida B. Wells, who showed us the lynchings and whatnot and so forth, right after the Emancipation Proclamation. Not only that, I always think I'm going to go on my notes and I never do for whatever reason. That's just crazy. But even after emancipation, when we were supposed to be free, we're getting lynched. And then we had to fight for this. We had to fight for that. We had to fight for this. We have always had to guard what we should be entitled to from the beginning. Constitution written, it didn't have white women vote. It didn't have black people voting. It didn't include Asians. It didn't include Latinos. It included white men. Now, not all white men are evil. But whenever we're taught something, subconsciously it enters into our spirit. We might not realize that we are carrying around this. And this could be, as the Bible refers to, as a generational curse. Now, see, this probably isn't even going to fit on Facebook, so I'm probably going to have to put this on YouTube as well, but that's okay. Now, whenever the whites subconsciously don't realize that they're teaching racism, or I wouldn't even say the whites, I'd say those who oppress, because there's black people who are bougie, who have political power, who have financial resources, who have a voice within the communities, all across the nation, and yet instead they oppress. They oppress not only their people, they oppress other people. So my target is not just on the white man oppressing the black man. My target is on everyone who oppresses anyone who is beneath them. And since right now we have so many people targeting black people, that's pretty much who I'm talking to. Me. You're included in the conversation that I'm having with me about the perception of my reality that is really unjust. We should be a lot further than we're at right now. A lot further. People can say, oh, things have gotten better. Have they? Who told you that? Who told you that things have gotten better? They have deceived you to believe that things have gotten better. No black woman that has any kind of sense, who's out there in the world is going to say things have gotten better for her. But then that goes against our pride as black men to say that black women do have it worse than us. They've always had it worse than us. Their conditions is what establishes our conditions. Because all the way from the beginning of time, they've had it the roughest. And yet instead we lean on our own understanding instead of getting the knowledge that they have about oppression. Because they've survived oppression. Not only are they black, but they're a woman. A white woman 100 years later, after the Constitution, could get to vote. But a black woman still did not get to vote. So what I'm saying to you is, you got to read. That's the only thing. You got to read. But not only do you read, you got to analyze. You got to understand what you're reading. But you got to have a fresh angle on what you're reading. Because if you keep thinking like the generations before, who were wearing the mask, they were wearing a mask to survive. That's why the poem was written. The mask. It was to expose to those who were sensitive to the blacks' cause that we were never ourselves. We have never found ourselves. Our identity, when have we developed one? We're always fighting. We're always fighting for justice. We're always fighting for equality. We're always fighting to protect our neighborhoods from foreign intrusion that come through and pretty much steal our economical Profits. Seriously. I mean, I'm not just talking about where I live at. This is not just an isolated thing. And I don't like talking about black people because I'm black, and I really, some are woke and some aren't. And it's the truth. But most of you all are not awoke. And deep down inside, you know that you're not awoke. It's just easier just to suck in what your forefathers have told you. You just sucked in what they told you was the right thing to do in order to survive. They were surviving. But see, here's the big difference. And see, I love talking like this because I don't even need the paper. This is just so real, just one-on-one. Just me and you talking. Whether you're in a room with a bunch of people or just by yourself, we're having a conversation here. This is my view. You're more than welcome to share your view. Now, I'm saying that our forefathers were here to survive. So they taught us how to survive in this foreign land. Because our identity was never based upon this country, being in this country. It was not. When we came here, we got stripped. I know I've heard it before. You've heard it before. Oh, slavery, such a horrible thing. Why? Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Thank God we're free. But were we ever free? Were we ever free? Because we've always been fighting. Always. We started acting right in the United States, what they do, started locking our black asses up. We started questioning the justice system, started wanting equality, what they do, they took it down a level. The police started framing us. The police started beating our heads in. Now the police, which they've always done, we already know that, they kill us. They murder us. They put the damn body cams in the cars on the officers to stop this. But yet instead, they don't give a shit. They still do the shit. Why? Because they can get away with it. Why? Because they know that all we're trying to do over here is survive. But I'm here to tell you, and I promise you this, that's not enough. It's never been enough. Right now, with this virus and food shortage, because a lot of black people ain't paying attention to the news. They're working. They're essential workers, so they never got a break to really watch the news, so they really don't know what's going on. I mean, they got children, they got a lot of stuff going on. We ain't gonna pay attention to the damn news. What we do, we already got high blood pressure. We already got hypertension. We're already sick. That shit makes us sicker, so we don't want to watch it. We don't want to get sicker. It gives us a headache. Hell, it gives me a headache to watch it. But we're past the point of just surviving. We're past that. We're past the point of just surviving. Because now, as I keep mentioning and I keep going over and over, and it's like I'm a broken record to some of you all, this virus, it could kill us all. It could kill every poor person that can't afford Medicare, that can't afford the expensive eating. It could kill us. I mean, we're 2 times higher really more than that, of getting this disease, especially black people. Don't fool yourselves, niggas. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself into thinking you can't get it because you got on gloves and you got on your mask and you got your hand sanitizer and you got, you're doing everything that they told you to do. Man, those people fucking lie to you. Every day is something new about this fucking virus. Who knows the truth about it? And why is it really targeting us? Is it so extremely higher numbers within the black community? And why in the hell are the police murdering us? I put on my page yesterday where a black woman got a grandma got assaulted by some damn white police officers. All she wanted was an apology. That's so hard for them to do. So they kill our babies. They kill our college students. They murder our athletes. But niggas are still on the same shit. Still on the same shit. But yet instead, we are going to want empathy whenever we see the little babies dying, whenever we see, grandma suffering because she can't fucking breathe and they won't give her a ventilator at the hospital. We're gonna get upset whenever they find these white men innocent, if they do, God forbid that they do. We're gonna be upset. We're gonna go and want to tear up some shit. But what the fuck you gonna tear up, nigga? What are you gonna tear up? Really, seriously, what the hell are you gonna tear up? Please explain that to me. Do you really think that money is of any value? It's never been about just having cash in your hand, fool ass nigga. It's about natural resources and it's about land. Land is a natural resource. All that cash in your pocket, you doing all this little fancy ass shit, you know what I'm saying? It means nothing. And especially now when there's a food shortage. Would I rather have cash or would I rather have food? If there's no food in the store, if a package of hamburger meat like this, say about 2 pounds, is going to cost you $40, are people going to work for food or are people going to work for cash? Because cash is not going to have any value. People will say, well, how do you know that? Well, I can tell you how I know that. It's a thing called inflation, deflation. It's a thing called import and export. Would you want your ships or planes go into a country who's never quarantined? Who had the cooties? Would you go to somebody's room who had cooties to drop off something and then get something back from the cootie bug? No, you wouldn't. We're isolated. President Trump, he wants to separate us from the World Health Organization. He wants to talk about China. China? Why are you messing with someone that imports and we export goods with for many moons now? He's isolating us. When they said make America great again, that's what he's talking about. If we are isolated from the rest of the world, what do you think is going to happen to the lower people? Just because they give you money does not mean that you are not a fucking slave. It does not mean that you're not a slave. It does not mean that you are not a slave. Yeah, because you still are. Because why? Because you're only thinking of surviving. It's more to it than just surviving. We've got to think about the generations. We've got to think about our race. And we've got to think about humanity. I mean, really, really do. But we're not. I mean, I'm not saying that some aren't, because I know that some are, especially whenever I look at some of those in the East Coast who have really seen all the action. But the Midwest, absolutely the hell not. You guys can get mad at me and shit. I don't give a damn. Because you niggas were probably mad at me before I started the video. So I don't give a shit. The Midwest does not even think about what the fuck they're doing. Why? Because historically, think about your great great grandfather. Was he surviving? Or was he living? See, black people, we've thought that we've been living for so long, and we have. Now, they put us back, as they consider us, back in our spots. And now we don't know how to handle it. Y'all thought that the 80s was a time of our bling blingage, and the 90s was, oh yeah, we got millionaires now, and 2000s, oh yeah, now we're doing big things. What nigga do you know that owns a skyscraper here in America? I'll wait for it. See, there's a difference. African and us. They own skyscrapers. They own natural resources. America needs Africa. Africa doesn't need America, despite what they tell us. It's mind-boggling that all of this is happening. And where's the love? Yeah, where's the love? I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, really, pastors, what are we going to do? Politicians, what are we going to do? I'm asking y'all, what are we going to do? Are we going to depend upon the governor to come and save us? Are we going to depend upon, who are you depending upon to save your race? If you're a politician, if you're, a religious activist or a pastor or a deacon, who are you helping? Who are you helping? What person can get the items that they need? I know that you all have a job to do, but come on with the bullshit, man. You know the shit is coming here. You know damn well it's about to affect black people. You know goddamn well it's about to affect black people. Black people, they can run all up and down the streets and do the shit that we normally do, and you know what I'm saying, pretend like the shit ain't coming. This shit is coming. So I asked the politicians and the people in the church, what are you doing to prepare us? You've let these motherfuckers open up this shit to kill us. That's what you've done. You've let them open up the shit to kill us. I'm going to leave it there because I just want to let that linger. And next time I will try to follow my paper. But you got to be a producer of knowledge. You can't just keep reciting the same fucking shit to me. Maybe to the rest of the niggas who are not awoke, who are asleep. Maybe you can keep reciting that same old 1-2 ass step and fetch sermon about the sheep and, you know what I'm saying, the flock. But Jesus is not coming back as a sheep. He's coming back as a lion. He's coming back with fire. If there is ever a time that a gangbanger, I don't give a shit what you are, neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, 107 Hoover, 4, 5, 6 blood, whatever, Paru, whatever the fuck, God's disciple. I don't give a shit what you claim. If there was ever a reason to put that rag the fuck down, and the organization that you have already built with gangbangers in your community, the network that you have set up all these damn years, if you do not know how to structure that shit to help save your baby's life, to help save your grandma's life, to help save your race. I mean, you should, if you are a gangbanger, especially if you're OG, you should have your BGs out there hitting them stores simultaneously with you every time the truck hits. Every time that truck fucking hits, you should have somebody posted at each one of those stores to collect as many items as you possibly can. Simple. Simple thinking, simple thoughts, simple process. You should know what day the truck arrives. You should know what day to pick up the stuff. You should know in your community what elderly lady, what family that has babies needs the stuff. But are you doing that? Are you worried about your bitch getting her motherfucking nails done? Are you worried about your bitch getting her motherfucking hair done? Are you worried about your nigga running out cheating on you? Are you worried about bullshit? Are you? Because guess what? If you are, you need to just eliminate yourself off of my fucking page, because now is not the time for me to sit here and play with nobody like that. It's not. The games are over with. Playtime is done. Will I joke every once in a while? Yes. But playtime's over with, black people. All that ignorant shit, all that R&B shit, all that rap shit. Okay, I love it. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love listening to that shit. I love getting up in the morning. Nigga, it's gotta be fucking just straight whatever. Hardcore. But I know it's not authentic to the circumstances in which we are currently living in. It's not. Wake up. Wake up. Realize that we are being oppressed. Realize that the older generation that may have taught you have never endured or encountered anything of this magnitude. They can say, oh yeah, they were lynching us. Yeah, we are fighting about 4 different wars at once. We're fighting prison. We're fighting a virus. We're fighting food shortage. And we're fighting, guess what the last one is? Each other. Let's not be niggers the rest of our lives. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. And this was way off of what I was going to talk about, but something just moved me to say all this. So, I'll read this one more time. I think I remember what page is on. I don't know. I just want y'all to really realize what's really going on. You know, it's not a game anymore. But I want y'all to really read this book, because it's really and if anyone wants this book, I think I have another copy, so just hit me up, whatever. I'm going to read this one more time so that way y'all can understand what they have already written 175 years ago. 175 years ago. They've already had their playbook in. But we're sitting around wearing a mask trying to just survive. It says, a nigger should know nothing but to obey his master, to do as he is told to do. Learning would spoil the best nigger in the world. Now, said he, if you teach that nigger, speaking of myself, how to read, there would be no keeping him. It would forever unfit him to be a slave. He would at once become unmanageable and of no value to his master. As to himself, it could do him no good, but a great deal of harm. It would make him discontented and unhappy. Is that correct? Only you know the answer to that. And I'll be making more videos. So God bless. Take care. Try to do what's right. Stay motivated. Keep your hope up. All right. Peace.